It is the 22nd week of the year. Welcome to the program. My name is Buyani Zwane. I am delighted to be able to connect with you on this particular module, specifically addressing ourselves onto competitor analysis and strategy for your business. We will also take some time to reflect on how you will develop your business development strategy so as to be able to ensure that your business to business continues to grow as well as it should be. It is part of your program that you should be able to develop a business development plan, which you will be able to discuss with your mentor, but also get to a point where you are presenting this as a way of guiding you throughout during the month of October. It is a pleasure for me to engage with you first and foremost on competitor analysis and strategy. The business environment is highly competitive. It is therefore necessary to be able to check how effective your business is and how competitive it still is in relation to others who are vying for the same slice of your market. Your market share is never guaranteed. Therefore, whatever you do must be such that it helps you to stay ahead of where you were the year before, a month before, and make it a point that the future is something that you are designing to achieve what you require for yourself, for your business, for your customer base, and all those that matter to you. Competitive analysis helps us as we do our business to be able to identify who our competitors are and evaluate their strategies. As we evaluate our competitors' strategies, it becomes possible for us to determine what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. And of course, we look at those relative to ours. When we know their strengths, we can formulate ours and measure whether we can go pound for pound where they are. But also when we know their weaknesses, we know what to exploit in order to be able to advance our cause and make sure that our mission is accomplished in all we do. As we go about conducting our comparative analysis, it is important for us to analyze the situation around the market we are doing business in. Market analysis provides a holistic and well-rounded picture of the markets that we are interested in operating within, and it also affords us the opportunity to have an outlook of how the market is doing and what the industry is looking like, because the industry we're in may very well be one that is shrinking or one that is growing. And the market could very well be exhausted, or it could be one that is really fighting its breather right now, specifically in this time of COVID-19 pandemic. It is also important for us to be able to look into market analysis, affording us the opportunity to look into our target market. Is it behaving in ways that make our offering attractive? Or is the market getting to a sense of being saturated? Or is it a new market? It is this analysis that helps us to be able to know how far we can go. As we conduct our market analysis, we also get to identify what are cultural factors we should bear in mind as we enter into the market, and we need to understand the legal regulations that we should be able to abide by, whether it is safety regulations or international standards regulations. We need to understand those, because when we enter into the market and we are unaware of what legislation governs what's there, we might find ourselves booted out of the market or spend a lot of time defending ourselves in court than generating more business. Having done our competitive analysis, we have an opportunity to formulate our own strategies. Michael E. Porter has written about competitive strategy, and as the professor at Harvard Business School, he has been one of the go-to reference professors around what is happening in the space of strategy. His work, put together way back in 1979, has been one that has been referred to extensively. And of course, in this particular program that we're involved in, I have already drawn attention to his 5 forces that influence strategy. So therefore, I invite you to be able to formulate your strategy, having worked out the lay of the land and how you are able to respond effectively to the opportunities that are coming your way, while also averting the threats that may scupper your plans. It is my firm belief that you are in business in order to be able to excel. You are not just occupying space. With this in mind, I'd like us to be able to just borrow these words that have been carried through for a long time since Aristotle came into the picture. Good is the enemy of best. It is necessary, therefore, that we do not settle for good when excellent is available. 7 key things that you would want to be able to put in place as you look into your strategy. Is it really clear to you? And are you clear about what's happening in the marketplace? Second, are you committed to executing the strategy or just writing it down for the benefits of those who require a written document that you can present? Translation of your strategy is going to be extremely critical, because unless the people who are operationalizing the strategy understand it and can translate into their own words, it's going to be just words that only belong to you as the leader. The fourth and very important area is to be able to ensure that you enable strategy by enabling execution thereof with the equipping of the doers of the work with the necessary tools to get the job done, resources necessary, space in order to be able to do the work that they need to be able to do. Many organizations struggle to be able to implement their strategies because of turf protection and silos. Our proposition is one that says for you to be able to experience excellence, synergy is the key that you're going to need to be able to work towards achieving and unlocking the collaborating capabilities of all your colleagues. Of course, it is vital that you hold yourself accountable for the execution of the strategy, but also hold yourself accountable to your board if you establish one. And if you haven't established one, maybe it is time for you to start thinking about the establishment of that particular governance structure, which will enable you to be able to, every now and again, have a check-in on how you're progressing with what you do. And if you are holding yourself accountable, you will be able to look into the 7th key area, which has to do with the consequences of effective execution of strategies and consequences of inability to execute your strategy. But of course, understanding the consequences is really what is crucial when you think about strategy, which begins with the end in mind. So we know one thing: we are perfectly aligned for the results we get, and when we choose to be highly accountable in the work we do, we can even determine the kind of consequences we want for ourselves and our business. Your business is established for growth. You want your enterprise to be one that will be bigger and better than you were last year. You also are looking for it to be reaching into markets that it had not been in the previous year or the previous reporting period. What becomes crucial is to be able to look into what are the trends in the marketplace. So much is now digitized. Is your business digitized accordingly? It is also important for you to be able to look into what opportunities arise because of what's happening in your client environment. What opportunities arise because of what's happening to your competitors? And then think about how you are positioned in the marketplace. Competitor analysis is really about helping us to understand how we are positioned in the marketplace so that we can be able to formulate how we want to locate ourselves ahead of the market, along with the market, or tracking behind the existing market. It's a choice we make, and it is for you to be able to look into how you are positioned in that. In the space of marketing yourself, you're also wanting to be able to make sure you are positioned mentally in the minds of those who are decision makers in the space of supply chain management, as well as those who are wanting to be able to decide whether in the next cycle they are going to incorporate your company as one of the preferred suppliers into the organization that they're in charge of. The most crucial thing is to be able to also, as you think about strategy, determine how aligned are your systems between what you promised the client when you went in and submitted your documentation and you started delivering products, because of course you already are in this program because you are being afforded the chance of developing from small to medium enterprise, from medium to large enterprise. We know for a fact that much of the employment in the marketplace happens in small and medium enterprises. Are you well aligned to get there? And then finally, it is important to be able to afford your opportunity to your organization to grow by harnessing the capabilities and competencies of all the people in your organization, while at the same time checking, are you in possession of the right skills, competencies, and capabilities that will take you to where the organization ought to be? Because where you are right now may very well be a good place to be, but you want to be able to shift your organization to greatness. Have you taken an audit of your competencies, your capabilities in the organization? And if so, how well are you matched for the opportunities that are coming ahead? As you do your business development, you will also be needing to be able to think about how your strategy is going to be influenced by environmental factors. While everybody conducts a pastel analysis, I have formulated what I prefer to call step-led. In one way, when you look into the acrostic, it says you are in step and you lead. What are the issues that require your attention? First and foremost, it's the social space. What's happening in terms of lifestyles? What's happening in the marketplace? What are the business implications for you? What are the implications for yourself, for your company? You also want to be able to look into what's happening in the space of technology. ICT access has shifted everything. As we speak right now, you are engaging with this program in a technological advancement, which really has made it that you can consume the material you require as you travel. You can do so, and you can get my voice and the voice of all of the other faculty coming through to you without any kind of exhaustion as you keep on repeating. So what are the business implications for you? Are you able to grow as a result of the changes in technology? And then, what are the implications for yourself and your team? The economy has been shifted extensively. While we spent quite a lot of time talking about global economy, continental economy, but with the advent of COVID, we found a shift away from globalization to anti-globalization, where we're looking into what's happening in a local space and making sure that we are truly relevant. As you've noticed with the medication and the issues of the vaccine, so much has come through that has pitted big countries, developed countries versus ours. And therefore, everybody is looking into what's happening in their own economy more than they are around what's happening elsewhere. In terms of charity and care for others, that comes second. What is important is what's happening locally. We have seen an upswing in our economy lately, and we're delighted to be able to see that. What is the implication for your sector? What is the implication for your business? Politically, in October, there will be the local elections. You know for a fact a lot has been going on around service delivery. Protests are coming through. What are the implications for you? Is there an opportunity that arises because of the pressures of service delivery between now and the elections time? Maybe that's where the opportunity will arise. The response to COVID-19 in terms of vaccination, is that presenting opportunities for you? While the marketplace may have been experiencing difficulties, is it presenting opportunities for you? The legal space, you know for a fact that virtually every sector has its own legislation that governs what is at play there. You have sector charters. What is impacting in your own sector? What changes have taken place, whether they be about labor broking or any other system that was in place pre-COVID? What are the implications for your business? What are the implications for you as the business owner? What are the implications for your team? Then comes a very crucial area which speaks a lot around we have the custodianship of the ecological environment right now on behalf of future generations. We need to be able to look into how what we do is positively impacting on the reputation of our business and the reputation of the company we do business with. It is important for us to also contemplate how corporate social responsibility is something that we're doing it because we know we want to be good corporate citizens. What's happening and what's trending in the industry? What's trending in the business that you're involved in? What do those trends mean for you and for your own staff, your own colleagues, the key stakeholders around your business? And finally, it is crucial to be able to take some time looking into the demography. The demographics indicate to us that a majority of the people who are decision makers or decision implementers are going to be Generation Y and Generation Z for quite some time. How is the workforce diversity working for you? What is happening in the marketplace? What do we know from anthropology? What do we know from sociology and psychology around the behaviors of people in the various generation categories? Think about that and contemplate that, because when we do marketing business to business, who is on the other side may very well be more warm towards you based on how you come across in terms of expressing your business and expressing manner that is inclusive of where they come from as well. For competitor analysis, we will choose to be able to just follow 4 simple steps. First, we believe that it is important for you to identify who's your competitor. It is crucial to be able to understand who your competitors are so that you do not apply your best thoughts best resources against people who are not even interested in what you're doing. It is important to know who are the key players in the marketplace. Are they people you should be losing sleep over, or people that you should not be worrying yourself about? Secondly, you want to be able to compare the competitive factors that they may have versus what you have and what's in the marketplace out there. Because what you do, if you find yourself lagging behind on all key factors, whether they be matters to do with cost or differentiation or what you're focusing on, if any of those you tend to be behind, you always are playing catch up. Is that what you want to do? Thirdly, it is important to be able to determine what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. At the same time, think into, after you've understood who your competitors are, what are their strengths? Are those strengths enduring? Or can they be attacked? And can you come with an alternative that actually boomerangs on them and catches them by surprise? What are their weaknesses? Can you exploit their weaknesses so that you are able to get to where you're needing to be able to get to? When we go to the second section, we'll be looking into, among others, what Netflix has been able to do in terms of looking into what are the strengths of the video rental business that was in place before they were established, and what were the weaknesses, and where were the markets moving towards. Observing what was going on out at Amazon.com, it became easy for them to be able to identify things that they could do as an organization so as to be able to take advantage of the gap that existed in cable TV and gap that existed also in the space of rentals of movies. So determine the strengths of the competitors, the weaknesses of the competitors, and then look into your own strengths vis-a-vis the market opportunities out there, and look into the areas you need to improve on and hire in people who will make sure that your weaknesses are rendered irrelevant. And then write your competitive analysis. And when you've done that competitive analysis, it will make it easy for you to develop the strategy to become the significant player in the sector, in the marketplace, in the industry you have chosen to participate in. In summary, it is important for us to understand that we are in the marketplace that is highly competitive. And because of that, it is important for us to analyze what's happening in the marketplace, what's happening with our competitors. Is the marketplace one that is growing or shrinking? It is important for us to be able to look into whether we want to be emulating others who have already gone in the market, or we're going to set up our own. Because after all, we can, following the Blue Ocean Strategy framework, set up our own market altogether. There are new markets that have been started as a result of the pandemic. Think through this. Make it a way of life so as to be able to make sure that your strategies are on point, and more importantly, you are able to address the most critical opportunity, that is about making excellence the way of life with clarity, commitment, effective translation of strategy, enablement of your teams, ensuring that you have collaborative attitude throughout the organization, and you hold yourself accountable, and those who are working with you are also accountable one to another, so as to be able to determine the consequences you desire for your own business. It is crucial to always be checking what is trending. Are you ahead of the trend, with the trend, or lagging behind the trend? And as you look into that, what opportunities are being brought through to the marketplace by these trends? How are you positioned in the marketplace? Have you aligned your entity accordingly to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that have risen? And have you sorted out the right capabilities and competencies to ensure you are a success that you desire to be, and you can be writing your own legacy right this moment?